Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Jim Hovland, your Edina Mayor, and this is your Edina Mayor's Minute. It is almost the end of March, March 28th, 2020. Early spring day. What I want to talk to you about is if this were summertime, we'd all be thinking about on a Friday afternoon heading north to the lake, up to lake country, whether you own a cottage or going to visit friends, just part of living in Minnesota. We want to caution you not to do that. If you are living in Edina, and even if you're getting this broadcast, you don't live in Edina, we're encouraging everybody to stay home. The Minnesota Department of Health is encouraging people not to go north. Even the Cook County Board of Commissioners has issued a travel advisory. They do not have the capacity in northern Minnesota to handle a coronavirus outbreak. And so they are really concerned about people traveling north and bringing inadvertently the COVID-19 virus with them and creating a problem up in their particular part of the world in Minnesota. And we don't want to see those kinds of difficulties occur. So the governor and the Minnesota Department of Health is encouraging people to stay home. So for folks in Edina that have a lake cottage that are thinking about running north for the weekend, I would encourage you just please think about staying at home and keep everybody healthier that way. One of the other things we've been talking about are parks, and I hate to keep coming back to it, but we want to keep our parks open. We want to keep them accessible to everybody. We want to keep our trail systems eligible and open for everybody's use. I think for the most part, people are wonderful about the spacing, maintaining that physical spacing of at least 6 feet. But I've received probably close to a half a dozen emails just this morning from folks that have been observing young groups of people, particularly men, gathering together, playing soccer, playing basketball. We're asking you voluntarily, please don't gather in groups. This is really serious stuff. We're heading statistically into the worst 2 weeks that we're going to probably see because of the mathematics of this thing, the exponential growth, the exposure. We've got this invisible, dangerous virus that can attach to any one of us and travel along as an invisible companion, contaminating not you over that 5-day period before it manifests itself in sickness for you, but you're contaminating others as it jumps from you to another person. So this is a public health problem. This means that we all have to be thinking about what's our role in making sure that all of us stay as healthy as possible. And for young people, you're not immortal. And you've got to be thinking about this not only in terms of your own enjoyment, your own satisfaction, getting together with your friends, but you got to be thinking about what you might be carrying back to your house, back to your brothers and sisters and your parents. And how about your grandparents that are in the most vulnerable category of all? Just think about this as something that we all have to work on together, as though we were all healthcare professionals looking out for the public well-being, the public health of everybody involved. And that might be a way for us to start thinking about doing things on a volunteer basis. Don't be gathering in the parks. Don't be playing games on the ball fields. We don't want to have to come and break these things up. But if you're a family out there kicking a ball around, that's one thing. If you're a bunch of young people out there playing basketball, you're all handling the same ball. Don't be touching anything that anybody else has to touch. I think it's as simple as that. So try to do this voluntarily. Try to think about everybody else's health in addition to your own, and we're going to be better off for it. So this is the date that the governor's stay-at-home order goes into effect. There's some exceptions to that. You can do things outside recreationally, and that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about the parks. And there's some other exceptions to the general stay-at-home rule as well, and you should all be mindful of those. I think they're up on the screen right now. They're being shown to you. And so those are things that we all can be engaged in, going to get groceries, going to get pharmaceutical products that we need, doing some of that very necessary travel. Even driving around a little bit is okay on a recreational basis. But be extremely careful about your contact with other persons. So because the governor's order goes into effect tonight at midnight, I'm not going to be doing these shows live from City Hall anymore at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I will also be staying at home or because we're a critical business, either, maybe at my office, maybe, but probably mostly from home. So we'll be broadcasting these on a tape delay from home starting next week with these messages we think are important to the public. You know, there's a lot of ways we can get information to the public, and this is just one way to do it, and I hope it's helpful. I think we're reaching a couple thousand people a day through this mechanism. And finally, I would say, don't forget the words of little 5-year-old Amelia from the Concord neighborhood. For all of you out there, stay strong, stay safe, and stay safe, stay your safest by staying close to home or staying at home. Thank you. This is Jim Hovland, your Edina Mayor, and I will look forward to talking to you next week.